Rick, last one here. You ready for it?
Good morning, and I am.
Awesome. This is a quote that I've heard once or twice before. And I've heard it when people have talked about like civil rights movements. Most recently, I heard the quote attributed to Kobe Bryant. And the quote is, I didn't come this far just to come this far. And that's what I think about my practice, right? I've been working at this diligently for the last 8.5 years. And so when I get to a place where something is, to where I'm like, man, I'm done. Like I'm done. Like I'm trying here. I'm not getting to where I want to go, or this is not happening the way it should be happening. All these things that I find myself wanting or preferring, and then I start to suffer again without applying all the things that you and others have taught me that are part of my practice, which is gratitude, acceptance, just using every moment to work on myself, finding a way to serve the moment and make it better than what it is in that moment, and allowing myself, most importantly, to really work on the inside so that I can show up peaceful and loving and serve the moment, regardless of what is happening on the outside. And so I just tell myself when I like I've done a lot of reps, Rick. I didn't come this far to let the thing in front of me be the end of all that hard work. Like, I did not. Every morning, every Monday, I get up and get into that squat rack. I don't wake up and say, "Well, I've done it the last 20 years. This is the last time. Last week was the last time I got in a squat rack." No, I didn't come this far to make these kind of gains to stop here. I didn't come this far just to come this far. And what that is about is there was never a destination. It was always all about the journey. And that's what makes this quote so real for me, is that you never stop working on this. Rick, you told me this. Like, it never stops up until you take your very last breath. And who knows what happens after that? You take your very last breath, you're just being on the journey. You're being on the journey. Whether things will come and go, you'll have some successes, you will have some challenges, but it's all the same. One is not better than the other. And you just keep working and working because you didn't come this far just to come this far. What are your thoughts, Rick?
Well, that's a great, important thing to remember every day. That is a reason to continue to do it. I think we all get that feeling sometimes, no matter what our discipline level might be, even for those of us who are really, really disciplined, that we'd like to skip a day, or we'd like to take a week off, or we'd like to just abolish having to do something we don't want to do. And we do that sometimes, but the point is, you have to get back in the wagon if what you really want are those goals that you set out to get, that you committed to, like inner peace and
Yeah.
understanding others and gratitude and so forth. And that, I think, once you start developing the nose for where your ego is making you unhappy, it's very tough to get rid of that software, because the payoff is so good when it works,
Love
right?
that.
Yeah, I think that's the idea, that we can live our lives in a way where we know we're okay with ourselves. We have a sense of being complete just as we are, without trying to work on things. I think that's another aspect of this. The idea is that when you have the discipline and you keep working on your practice, that you become more accustomed to being comfortable with your own warts, and recognizing that you have many, many flaws. And that's part of, I think, the idea that you can't be run by trying to do something for other people to make these flaws disappear. I think you have to accept them, change the ones that you can, and get out of your own way. Thank you. I really think that's great insight, though, Keith. I love that phrase.
Oh, thank you, Rick. I think about, like, some of my friends who have experienced loss in some form or another. And the loss that I've experienced when I started getting on this path and with the practice, and the loss could be in the form of a divorce, loss of a job, or loss of your home for whatever reason, or things that you have experienced or acquired along the way. And if you make it only about the things, it can be devastating. It can be a lot of suffering, a lot of internal suffering. But if you treat everything about like this is just part of my journey while I'm having this human experience, and you use every bit of it to like let go of yourself to grow and to be fully there. Being in a relationship, I've come to is because I it's not because I need somebody, and it's not because somebody needs me. It's because I got so much love to give. I just want to share it, and if it becomes all about sharing the love, even if that relationship sunsets for whatever reason, your loved one passes away, or your beloved, you guys go separate ways. If you make it not about the relationship being the end, and you make it about, you know, if you make it about just having more love to give and to express, and somebody else comes in your life or they don't come, but whoever's around you, you continue to express that love. If you make it about that, then you continue to move forward. But if you make it about the relationship and everything that you invested in and stuff like this and all this other stuff, and here it is, and it turned out for naught, then I guess you did come that far just to come that far. But if you make it about, no, this is just part of the human experience and everything that happens, I'm going to find a way to let it turn me on, and I'm going to let go of myself along the way so I can have more love to give and to express. Then what can get you to the other side of that loss, because it'll hit your heart, your mind might be affected by it. What will get you is like, I didn't come this far to come this far. And you just do the next thing that's in front of you, which is accept the moment as it is, to apply all the principles and the lessons that we've learned on this journey, Rick, from others. And you just keep doing the next thing. And next thing you know, you start to light up again. You start to smile more, you dance inside, like all those things happen along the way. You and I, as you've had a relationship in after several years of marriage, and you have to reorient your business and all these other things that you had to do. You could have said, hey man, this is it. I've been on this road for a long time. This it's a wrap. And that could have been the end of it, with respect to ToBeRe and the things that have happened and the different, times, chances to reinvent what kind of career I have. Each one of those could have been it. But I didn't come this far to come this far. Like, no, the show goes on. Like, seriously. And then you just find out, like, oh my God, I still got all this love to give. Because it's all you were doing were removing all the blockages that were in the way of the love continuing to be fully expressed. And so it's just a beautiful thing, man. I love that quote, Rick. I'll let you close this out.
Oh man, I can't top that, Keith. I totally agree with everything you said. A hard road to hoe, though. We have to be mindful that it takes work every day. It takes consciousness. It takes being present. It takes being aware without judging every day in order to achieve that high level of inner peace and that sense of gratitude and that sense of joy and inner dancing, which I think is a great concept that you just shared. So thanks for sharing about your journey, and I really appreciate being part of this and hearing what you're doing in your life. It's inspiring. And one of the great things I think about having close friends and friends like you who work hard at being their best selves is that when I falter and I misstep and have a regression of enormous size, I can call you and then feel like I'm making progress just by talking to somebody else who has been there. So thanks for that, and thanks for sharing your vulnerability with me and all of our viewers.
Yeah, thank you, Rick, so much. You mentioned, I'll close with this, is you said, you can call me and things like that. Like, I don't know, like oftentimes during the course of a week, I know the best time to reach you by phone is early morning, but there's opportunities that I'll take a chance and call you, late afternoon or in the evening. And I don't get you on the phone, but just the mere act of calling you and thinking about you brings me such peace.
Wow.
I mean that. I mean, that's who you are to me. That just thinking about you brings me right to the present moment, to whatever I have, whatever I wanted to discuss, or whatever challenge that I'm trying to work through, or whatever advice I need. Even when I don't get you on the phone, it's settled. it's I mean, that's who you are for me, Rick. So I just want to thank you. You've been that way for me for a long time now. I mean, we've
Oh,
been friends for a long time, and I love you.
thank you, Keith. That's high praise, and I thank you every day in my prayers at night, along with all of our other buddies, or some of our other buddies, and some of the other people in our lives that come in and out, for the lessons and also for the love that is received and so welcome. Thank you for your friendship.
Thank you, Rick. I love you.
I love you. Adios.
Adios.